right.
Well, hello, and welcome to the Broke Down Palace studio.
Yeah, that Gilded Trash Productions has been talking about making an event space. We wanted to make it diverse, so I wanted to try recording here and see what it looks like. So
See what it sounds like.
you guys get to experience that with us.
Yep. Tonight, big announcement. I'm ordering gyros from Punky's Tacos and Flatbread Pizza.
So he's been walking around with his shit eating grin on his face for the last hour. And I kept being like, what's so funny? Are you writing comedy bits in your head? He's like, no, I did that hours ago. What's so funny?
They also have Italian wedding soup and chili.
Ooh,
I've been wanting chili. So it kills all the birds.
yeah.
All the birds are dead.
Well, and I don't eat chili.
Right. This was a previous discussion. She doesn't eat chili because she doesn't like it. So I don't get to eat it. I love it. And I mean, I like Italian wedding soup too, but I mean, that's
I love Italian wedding soup. I do not like the texture of beans and chili. So I will eat meatless or beanless chili, not meatless. That'd be weightless. So allegedly,
meatless. They sell that down at the vegan place. I just seen it yesterday. It's all beans, baby.
it's a texture thing for me. But originally,
Beans
like
are disgusting.
real,
Let's be honest. Let's have a real talk. Beans are disgusting. I mean, I like baked beans.
I don't. I don't like the texture. Again, I like the thought behind the flavor from a file.
I do whatever kind of beans they use in bushes. I don't mind them beans, whatever those are. Pintos,
Brown beans.
brown beans, are they?
I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, that's what they are after they're baked.
I don't look into the legume and lentil category very often because the texture of them gags me. So, but like real chili, like that.
I like beef lentil. Do you like beef lentil?
No, but I like beef barley.
Beef barley.
That texture not so bad.
Barley. Well, barley's more like it's like rice.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like eating beef from rice. Beef and rice.
That's actually what
I haven't had beef and rice soup in a while. That's another classic staple.
So, and it's the season for those kind of foods, right?
That's why I'm talking about it, because it's
for sure. Like I've been making nostalgic foods over the past couple weeks. The weather's got me into it. I love to bake and cook this time of year. But one of the things that I made last week, I think, was tapioca from scratch.
when I was a kid, I thought that tapioca was an adult thing. And it was because, well, no, I'm saying I thought it must have had liquor in it or something, because I knew the things that I wasn't allowed to have. And the first time that Dad made tapioca, they were like talking about it as if it wasn't for the children. So, like,
that's because it's so hard to make. It's very.
I'm pretty sure this was just a Jello pudding pop box.
Oh,
You know what I'm talking about? The
yeah.
regular, just. It might not have been, though, because I feel like back in the day, was there a kind of, like, it was almost like in an Uncle Ben's box, the tapioca.
Mhm.
And I feel,
I don't know if it was,
but I mean, it was like that, though. Something about that box of Uncle Ben's reminds me of, like, it was that size of like a small rice box. And it was tapioca, but I don't know the brand or anything, but that's what I think that people had in their cupboards. It wasn't Jello instant.
It's funny that you say that because I grew up with the impression that tapioca was an old people food. Not that it was off limits for kids, but just that only old people ate it.
It's off limits.
And so, but my mom made it from scratch and I absolutely love that version of it. I don't like the prepackaged version.
Tapioca is like a starch in and of itself. It's its own thing.
It is its own.
It's just like okay.
Yeah.
It sort of reminds me in a better way of those weird, like, fruit salad things with the noodles.
Yeah.
I don't particularly like that. I don't need noodles with my fruit.
Oh,
I don't need noodles with my fruit, dude.
I'm gonna oh gosh, I forget the name of it, but it's like pepperoncini or something like that.
Fettuccine.
But it's like real tiny, tiny, tiny
Oh, yeah, I forget the name of this.
so it's the same concept though, because when you make those, you have to soak them first before you make.
Yeah, it's a starch that you have to, like,
Yeah.
wet.
Yes. Yeah.
Much like a rice,
Yeah.
much like a rice, but
And
just a different thing.
they did use those in fruit salads back in the day.
Here's my question. I know they make tapioca flour. So is, like, tapioca like a plant? I wonder.
I don't know.
Is it like, well, because I'm saying like wheat or no, I know I
Yeah.
could ask, but that's we'll find that out later.
We'll find it out later.
I'm not in I don't wanna Google.
Well, I'm really into the whole science of baking right now because I'm doing the whole sourdough thing. And I'm not confident that my sourdough is like gonna turn out, but they've been doing all right so far. I made two. So the so after like so I forgot to feed them on day 5.
It's made from, how do you say this? Cassava root?
Cassava
Root, that's what it's made from.
or maybe
It's a flour that's made from that word.
tapioca is.
Yeah.
Nice. Interesting. I love learning things about stuff like that. I love science behind food.
And who would guess that though?
No.
I wouldn't.
Because I've heard of like the cassava plant before.
I've heard of it, but I don't even know what it is. Is it like native to America? I don't know.
No, it sounds like it's native.
It sounds like it's native to
South
something
America.
else. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But with the sourdough stuff, oh, so I forgot to feed them on day 5 and then I misunderstood the directions. So I had way too much starter. I had to like recalibrate because I thought you were supposed to take half the starter out every time. No, that's only on day 1. You only are supposed to use 100 grams of starter to feed every time. So you keep 100 grams of your starter and all the rest is discard, right? So I now have a half-gallon jar of discard that's like 3/4 full. We're still good though. It's growing. It smells like a nice.
What's it gonna make? What am I making with the discard?
Oh my gosh.
Just
Yes.
pretzels,
All of it. We're
or
making
saltine crackers.
crackers goes so the very first batch of discard that I have from day 1 is the least fermented and it's like the most hydrated or least hydrated maybe. So you make crackers with those. But there's like stages of discard that you use for everything. So the closer you get to full activity is the stage of discard you use for that recipe.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So you wouldn't like make pie dough with fake.
Right, obviously.
It's really
Here's my question though, can you switch sourdough out for, like, any dough? Like, for example, like, you can make bread you can make anything that you can make out of regular dough, can you make out of sourdough? That's the question.
you start with sourdough and then you adjust your water or hydration levels to account for what's in the sourdough. And then if it depends on.
So, like, you could make pie dough from sourdough.
I mean, yeah.
You could make pizza dough from
Yeah.
sourdough.
Yeah.
You could make bread dough from I mean, obviously, you can make bread dough, I
Yeah.
know that, but
So anything that so here's the thing is anything that you need yeast for it to rise, that's like what stage. So crackers you don't want to rise. So you use the earliest discard because you don't want the crackers to rise, right? But if you want something to rise or have that gluten thing that we looked into earlier, then you need to have either yeast or sourdough starter.
Okay, so it sort of replaces the yeast factor, like, in recipe because it's already activated.
Not fully, like in some like pizza dough, you still and again, you can use discard for pizza dough, but when you use the discard for pizza dough, then you have to use yeast as well. So it's like it's all adjusting your levels of like liquids or hydration in your recipe and adjusting for how much activity is going on in the fermentation of the starter.
Right. So, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. I'm
Yeah.
interested.
So you can pretty much make anything with you could use the discard for anything, but at stage 1, it's just like basically water and flour paste, which is interesting because I found out I love a good roux.
Who doesn't?
I love to make Cajun food. you can use sourdough starter discard to make a roux, which is great because if you use the earlier stages, you've got that paste. There's no lumps. You don't have to worry about getting it mixed up. It's just a perfect paste at that point.
Right. It's just already,
Yeah.
because that's the name of the game when you're doing stuff like that is just, or like when you're making gravy or something. That's what, or like people refer to as the liquid gold.
Yes.
When you're making pasta and stuff, you take that water because those molecules are already bonded together.
Yes.
So it helps the water and the oil and stuff can all, the fat and the water and all can bond
Yeah.
because that process has already taken place. And I mean, it's much more scientific than that, but that's exactly,
In layman's terms.
yeah, that's exactly what's happening now.
So I am like, I think tomorrow I'm gonna make some pierogi dough and some pizza dough, just to start using up my discard.
I was losing weight.
I am gonna try a batch of
I
crap.
was losing weight. Then we had steamers yesterday, but it's been downhill ever since.
Oh my god! Let's talk about these slummies or something last night. Holy shit!
Sloppy Joe, sloppy Joe.
I was singing that.
They were the sloppiest fucking Joes you ever seen, brother.
It's a slapper. Oh my god, but they're so good. So I talk about ChatGPT all the time. I explained to ChatGPT the flavor profile that I grew up with, and then added a couple of bells and whistles. And he found the best recipe, gave me some tweaks to use if I wanted this or this, and it worked. It was good. It was real good.
I mean, I think back to like childhood steamers because it's like growing up, especially like in South Central Pennsylvania, Western Pennsylvania
That
too.
is where they're called steamers, which I had never heard of until I moved over there.
Right. It's a very thing. So that's where the steamer thing comes. That's a sloppy Joe, but I mean, it's interchangeable, but there's like a pride and tradition there where everybody's like, grandma makes them, grandma's got more mustard. Dad uses manwich. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So they all taste, I mean, they're all good. It's hard to fuck up a steamer.
Over here, you have to use Heinz ketchup. Ketchup.
Right. Right.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to mess it up, but it's also like you also, if you want to get close to nostalgia, right? You have to like, there's a couple things that were thrown in, like the brown sugar back in the day. So when I moved over to Hagerstown, and this is one of my favorite stories, is my first husband, his mom, Linda, taught me a lot about cooking, like
Steamers.
how like the South Central Pennsylvania people cook, right? Which is way different.
Well, the Cumberland Valley. So that extends down into Hagerstown.
Yeah.
But the
Well,
Cumberland Valley is a very specific, it goes from Maryland up into Pennsylvania. It's
right.
like a,
But she grew up in Everett, Pennsylvania. So she has those Everett roots.
well, Western Pennsylvania still does them.
Yeah.
It's not everybody does them.
Everybody
It's
does
just a
them.
matter of what they're calling them.
Right.
That it's everybody's eating sloppy joes all
Right.
across America.
Right. But my mom, to my knowledge, had never put mustard in either her baked beans or her sloppy Joe mix. And when I learned that little secret from Linda, oh my gosh, that changed my world because
Mustard's where it's at.
yeah, yeah,
It gives it that tang. I even sometimes like in a steamer, I like to put a little extra mustard on it
on it.
with some onion.
I like shredded cheddar on mine.
See, I don't like them with cheese. I'm never a cheese. I enjoy a burger with cheese. I don't like cheese on my chicken sandwich. I don't like cheese on my. I like cheese on my hoagie, like a ham
Yeah.
or turkey or
I
something.
do like cheese on my fish sandwich, but only if it's McDonald's.
Yeah, McDonald's fish sandwich is its own thing.
It's its own beast.
It's not a fish sandwich.
Yeah.
It's a McDonald's fish sandwich,
Yeah, that's
which
exactly.
is a totally different thing. And you're right. I don't want cheap. Like if I go get, like when we get like Lent time and stuff, and we get the sandwiches from the places, I don't want cheese on like my haddock sandwich.
Yeah.
I just want like tartar, some pickle,
Yeah.
some lettuce or something. I don't want cheese. A McDonald's fish fillet, fish au filet, or whatever the hell that is. But isn't it something weird like
Yeah. Fish fillet.
fish au filet or something?
Or we're in another one of those Mandela effect things where it was called fish au filet and it wasn't.
You know what's weird is here's a little observation in life is something that, and maybe this will come back into our life now that in the future, um, because of other some reasons. But as an adult, you don't really ever eat fish sticks.
No, there's no if you are an adult eating fish sticks.
But I miss some like little Gordon's fish sticks on a Friday night, dipping them in some ketchup.
Right, like, I would eat, like, I would make the kids their fish sticks and then, like, have 2 or
You got
3
planks.
2 or 3 left over for me to just dip and ketchup at the
There's something about, well, like a good fish stick. The cheap ones suck, obviously, but there was some that I really liked.
I like the batter dipped Gordon's fillets.
We ate fish sticks a good bit
Yeah,
growing up.
yeah. Oh my gosh, I love it. But so, I am easily influenced on socials by food trends. I love them. And I've done a bunch of them, but so the sourdough is one of them, right? But this one is not a food trend. I was just influenced by. So remember, we talked about the anapasta salad girl
Yeah, of course.
back 4th of July. Well, we're friends on TikTok now. And she's getting ready to put a cookbook out. Yeah. She has a farm stand, which I wanna go visit. Oh my gosh, we need.
Is she called like the Anapasta lady?
No,
Oh,
it's, folk home remedies
folk home remedy.
or
Okay.
home folk.
Folk
Yeah, folk
folk
home
home remedy.
or home folk remedies. But either way, she's like
There's some folk
homesteader.
remedies.
She is indeed a homesteader. So this ties all back around though, because, um, I wasn't influenced by her to make the sourdough, but the other night my sourdough was giving me some sass, and I was thinking,
Talked you through
no, she didn't.
it.
No, I'm gonna get there. But I was thinking about what I've wanted to name my sourdough starters.
Mhm.
And I was thinking back to the episode where Lucy and Ethel on I Love Lucy tried to make bread, and the bread like grew so big it exploded all over the kitchen, right?
Like Lucy does.
And that was a Mandela effect one because a lot of people remember it as a flour incident where there was flour everywhere, but it was actually like the bread dough
Mhm.
that went everywhere. Chappie and I,
Yes.
yeah, Chappie and I had talked about that.
So what do you remember? What's it say on the internet?
So I asked Chappie about the famous episode where Lucy and Ethel had flour all over the kitchen. And he said, there is an episode where Lucy has flour on her face, but what everybody commonly misremembers is the episode where they were attempting to bake bread and it exploded all over the kitchen. So it was the bread, not the flour. And they get conflated. So it's not really a man.
So it's like, yeah, I can see that.
It's like mass misremembering or conflating of.
Well, I think that's what makes the Mandela effect so interesting is because when you look at those things, you don't realize how easy it is for your brain to play tricks on you.
Oh, I know.
And
Everybody's memory palace is a little bit
and
glitchy.
no matter how good it has nothing to do with how smart you are either.
Not at all.
It's the way brains work.
Right.
And one of the things that they do is your brain fills in gaps in information.
Yeah.
So, and it pulls that information from other places, kind of like a chat GPT, where like sometimes it's giving, like it has a,
Sometimes it gets it right and sometimes it's like way off base.
right, because it just doesn't have the right data set to go back to.
It doesn't have the right connectors to connect the correct dots to
Right.
make sense.
Right. So that's
Yeah.
exactly right. So I'm not saying that the Mandela effect doesn't exist. I think it's one of those things where I think that like some of them I think are plausible. Some of them I think are very much real.
Right.
And then other ones I'm like, well, that's because I'm basing that on my memory, but I'm also basing that on the fact that like some of them you can tell why people misremember it.
Right. Right.
But then there's other ones that are like inexplicable.
Like the Mandela one.
Well, see, to me, that one I don't, because I don't remember him dying.
I do remember him that.
No, I
But
believe you.
also-
I believe you. But I remember when he got out of prison, that was a big deal when I was in school.
Right.
So I do remember that, but
Right. I hear you. Well, full circle.
yeah,
Sourdough is going to get named Lucy and Ethel. Lucy and Ethel. However, the reason why I'm saying that being influenced is because, like I said, Home Folk Remedies, Folk Home Remedies, she has a farm stand. She's getting ready to put out a cookbook. And so she's been posting some of her recipes. Well, she posted French onion soup the other week. And
mm,
uh,
mm.
can I just tell you, I hadn't made French onion soup in probably 25 years, maybe 15, 16. I don't know. It's been a
I don't know that we've ever had it. Like, I don't know that you've made it since we've been together.
right. It's been a long
And
time.
that's 16 years.
Right. Well, Yeah, but I made it and it was really good. And I want to do more of that. Like I want to do more things that I've never done
I
easily.
want to get one of soup trucks so we can
I do.
put them in the oven.
Yeah. We had to fancy around the baked
The
part.
cheese, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, but the baguettes were really good.
Oh, but baguette has my heart. Baguette is good, dude. It's real good. Now I'm gonna make the olive things though, because that's just the best.
Oh my gosh. What's it called?
Tapenade, I guess.
Topping on. Yeah, where you just like it's olives and
Just
feta.
yeah, I don't know that that's. I think tapenade is just olives, but I think I don't know what. But it's similar to
But
that.
you made it better by adding feta cheese.
No, I didn't make that. I mean, I didn't make it better. Matt introduced me to that.
Oh,
Matt
okay.
made it meant for a thing.
No.
And then I took it and was just like, "Oh, I'm making this again." Yeah, Matt made it for something.
I believe you, but I just don't remember because in my brain that's always been one of the favorite things that you made.
I think he made it one time when we went over to Dad's when they still lived in Hairston.
Yeah. I mean, that would have had to have been when.
So
Because I feel like you've been making it for a long time.
I have been making it.
But
The first time I think I made it, we either lived in the trailer, which was right after we got together, which I think is when it was.
yeah, it was. It absolutely was. It was for like New Year's Eve, I think.
Yeah, something.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But one of the things you haven't made in a while that was really good was your crab stuffed mushrooms.
I do like crab stuffed mushrooms. There was something else I wanted to make with crab recently. I also just remembered that I have that broccoli, fresh local broccoli from down there.
Mm.
That's what I love about broccoli, cauliflower, is you can get a second season of it locally in the fall because it
Yeah.
grows in cold. So I mean, it doesn't grow in cold, but it, you don't want it in the dead of summer. So you grow one batch in the spring and then another batch in the fall. So because it does well with the colder temperatures, it can survive through the night. So it's a cooler temperature vegetable.
You guys heard it here first.
No,
Farmer Fred.
well, and that's because broccoli, a lot of people don't know this, but a lot of your modern vegetables all come from the same family as broccoli. The original plant back thousands, I don't know the exact word, but it's the Latin word is very similar to broccoli. It's like broccaceae or whatever.
Brocelius or something.
Yeah, something like that, where it's like that family, they then took that and bred that's broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts,
Cabbage, whatever.
cabbage, is the same family. Um,
Turnips.
no, turnips are their own thing. But those are all, and they might not even be though. That's what surprises you is how much stuff comes from that family. Like that family, that ancient plant thousands of years ago, they turned into all these different vegetables through cultivation, which is mind blowing.
It is.
People,
So we've actually been doing hybrid vegetables for
everything is genetically modified. We've been genetically modifying plants since. That's what bothers me about like some of it I get because it's like through these other processes, but like
right. It's the process. It's not the act of hybriding. It's the process, which makes it
what I find interesting too, though, is people are like, well, how did, people that like when you talk about like evolution and stuff, like you think about that over the span of millions of years. Like in it, in less than 10,000 years, we turned a plant into 40 different vegetables. Do you know what I'm saying? Out of nothing by just breeding the best of this and favoring certain traits before we even understood what genetics were.
right.
We were using that to cultivate plants.
They did it with dogs too, right?
Absolutely. Look at all the dog breeds.
Yeah.
It's incredible. They have dogs that are this big and they got dogs that are fucking
And
as big as humans.
and yet people don't want to believe in evolution and they have dogs running around there.
And they're like, well, dogs didn't change species. Well, no, they didn't. But we're only talking about a few hundred years that people have been breeding dogs.
Right. Right.
And species start to separate like up when they can no longer crossbreed. So when the distinguishing characteristics become so far apart that they can no longer mix and it be a viable offspring, that's when you start to separate. And my guess would be in 2,000 years, what we see with dogs, like how's a little toy dog going to breed with a big dog? You know what I mean? Like you start to see genetic changes that are no longer able to be cross species to species.
Right.
And you see this separation. Dog breeding's only been going on for really a few hundred years. So of course you're not going to see it on that micro level because of these things play out over the span of hundreds of thousands, millions of years.
Right.
You know what I mean? So,
Right. I love it. So I had one final thought. I had one final thought on food for this week,
mm,
which is I guess maybe I'm late to the party, which is not abnormal for me, but the Subway protein bowls, I don't know if we just got those here in Johnstown or if they've always been on the menu, but after we talked about bread for the last 45 minutes, I do like a good protein bowl.
mm.
It was well worth it. It was for like 99 or something. It was packed with meat. It was packed with veg. I mean, it was good. It was worth the money. It was filling. There was lots of stuff in it.
I- to anybody, I just want to go back to this. To anybody that, because we have a lot of, people of various faiths and stuff that listen to us and whatnot. I make it sound like we got this huge audience. But if you really want to understand how you can still reconcile your faith with science, read the book by Francis Collins. It's called The Language of God. He's the guy that first mapped the human genome, and he knows everything that there is to know about DNA and stuff like that. It's pretty amazing.
And he's also a theologian, right?
No, but he's a Christian, but he's also the leading scientist. But just the way he lays it out, I'm just saying it's a very good book. Go check it out. Francis Collins, The Language of God, because what he's saying. DNA is the language of God. You get it. But anyhow, he's the guy that first mapped the human genome. It's not like he's just some bullshit guy. He's like probably one of the world's foremost experts on DNA.
And he still believes in God. So there you have it, which actually is a nice segue into another segment of stuff that I wanted to talk about this week. So after Charlie Kirk died, there was like a surge for people to want to go to church, right? And and it's just so messy in my brain. I have a hard time articulating it because I love the idea of a good church. I love the idea of like beautiful song and everybody singing and praising
A
God.
community
A community. I love the idea
that you trust.
right, trust that you can connect with, that you feel comfortable that if you're giving to their charitable causes, that they're being distributed fairly, all this stuff, the other, right? So the idea of church is beautiful, but the actual organizations are not so much. We're finding this past couple weeks because
Well,
go ahead.
yeah, no, I was gonna say it really goes back to one thing in particular, which is why I'm sure you brought this up because this happened to us, is altar calls at funerals.
That is one of the reasons. You're absolutely right. But the timing of it is impeccable because it brought me full circle back to I don't want to go to church.
Right, because then you see you're sitting there and you're like, oh, this is the part that I hate. Like it all sounds good at first, like they were doing their thing, but then it just turns into this, we're not there for that reason. You have to understand that though too. You have to be able to disconnect. Like don't come at me like a salesman, especially when you're at a place when you're already at church. Why are you still trying to sell me on this?
Right.
I don't want that for that reason. I want reaffirmations of things that I already know because I'm already there. I'm not there. Like, I don't need this.
Right. You're preaching to the choir is like
Right.
perfect.
Right.
But here's the thing is, so you know that at a funeral, there are non-believers who come to pay respects to the dead. Right? But in that particular moment, and I felt that way when my son passed away, like we've dealt with very close deaths and it has always nudged me. But in this particular instance, it wasn't somebody I was very close to, right? But the message behind every single person that came up and
The family that talked and everything was so great.
so
If
eloquent,
they'd have ended it with a little short thing at the end of that, would have
a
been
prayer.
one of the most beautiful services that but then it just went into a diatribe of basically a sermon, which he's a preacher, that's his job. But at the same time, there's also a time and a place for that.
And it was an altar call for sure that was really just, it was infuriating me because then it brings it around home to what I always struggle to articulate, but I've said it all the time, is the concept of religion is fantastic. It's fallible men who destroy it. And so this man really liked to hear himself talk for 35 minutes after what could have, like you said earlier, like they could have done but here's why I was really, really, really pissed off about this. This is what made me so angry that I had to come home and like study it a little bit. I was so mad is that what was spoken about this man was true, true, true. He was a charitable man. He was a kind man. He was a giving man. He was a knowledgeable man. He was a helpful man. He had pure intent in his heart, and intent is the message, right? Intent. Because what this preacher went on to erase after that was that no matter how good this man was in real life, had he not accepted Christ into his heart, he would have gone to hell instead of heaven. Fuck you. Fuck you and your fucking dogma, because I don't believe that for a second. I do not believe that for a second. It's
Well,
hard for me to reconcile that in my brain
people,
that you could be the best human being ever with all the intent. And if you just never took the time to say, yeah, I accept Christ into my heart, even though you conceptually believe that there's a universal power, no,
well,
stop.
there's a hard line there amongst Christians, and there's a lot of debate about that very topic. I mean, people would even argue that that's like the Protestant Catholic beef. Is it works? Is it this? And here's the thing is, I mean, all according to, I mean, all those things, the Bible says a lot of things. And like you said, I mean, that's your personal thing. I mean, it's your personal like viewpoint on it of like your relationship with God is your own relationship with God. And I think that that ultimately is the message of Jesus is that,
Right. Do unto others is the one.
well, yeah, yeah. I mean, that absolutely. Yeah. Like obviously works were important to him because that's what he did. But I think the thing was is that each person should have their own personal relationship with God and not think of it as a, you know, collective. I think that ultimately is the message of Jesus.
Right. Absolutely. But not only that, like think about the alternative. Think about the alternative that you can be a total shit ass destroyer of lives and souls your entire
Right. It goes back to the Hitler argument
right.
that if Hitler on his deathbed was like, I accept Jesus, then Hitler's in heaven according to some Christian. Like I said, this is a dogmatic split amongst the church.
Right.
So I'm not going to sit here and claim, like, because I don't know, nobody
None of
knows
us know.
for sure.
None of us will know for sure until we find out.
Right. And here's the thing that I think is interesting too, and you hear this from a lot of different, you know, theologians and people that look into these kind of things, is that there's always this assumption that your interpretation of the Bible or whatever is correct. And the thing of the matter is, people are like, well, that's what the Bible says. The Bible never just says anything.
Right.
If you, the Bible that you can, unless you can speak ancient Hebrew, Aramaic, and ancient Greek, then there's subtle things in there that change people's interpretation. So you're reading somebody's interpretation of somebody's interpretation of somebody's interpretation. And I'm not saying that it,
Language translation.
and I'm not saying that it's totally different, but I'm just saying that even you as a reader are translating a language to what you believe the text means.
Exactly.
So one of the biggest things that you can always be as a human is curious. So many things that people say, like when you can come at it like that you may not be exactly right, then you can sort of start to get into other people's viewpoints and really deep dive and find out, you know, talk to like just what you think even.
Right.
But
No.
these are all philosophical discussions.
They are philosophical, but they're the things that we encounter in day to day that make me pull back from promoting any one thing.
Right, absolutely.
And so, but on socials this week, it came up twice because in one instance, and that's why I'm saying, like, so for me, it's intent. Intent is the word here because here in one social media instance, you have a woman who may or may not have been telling the truth, who was calling churches and asking for formula.
Right, right, right.
And the responses were pretty disheartening, right? Um, but there was a couple pastors who took it upon themselves to respond to it, and it was ridiculous because the word, well, I don't even know what the word benevolence even means, but he said that the benevolence is reserved for our flock, like the people that come to our church all the time. So that was a little, I mean, it wasn't disheartening because you know that they're like church leading assholes.
Well, also, let's go down this rabbit hole then. So this is another thing that's among philosophical Christian ideas is imagine Jesus in modern times walking through New York City, or say, let's change it. Let's say Austin, Texas.
Mhm.
There's a lot of homeless. Comes the first homeless guy, and he says to his disciple, give this man, you know what I mean? All the things, give him the thing. Come to the second guy, give him all your things, da 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 da. Come to the third guy, give him all, and then you get to the fifth guy, and Jesus like, sorry, man, I'm a lot of cash, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But what would you say then? So like, there's nuances.
There are nuances. There are.
So you don't know the exact situations. We don't know the exact, so it's hard to really to me, it's hard to really lay a blanket judgment on the whole thing and just be like, this is what they should do, whatever.
Right. You just don't know. And you're relying on people who are secretaries and freaking not, you know what I mean? There's so many layers, right? So I think that was ill intent because that person was she specifically was calling with a script to call out and catch churches, right?
Right.
There are other ways to do that.
Right.
It wasn't necessary. No,
Right.
it seemed to me
It's a bad experiment.
right.
It doesn't.
And she
There's
calls
no
it a social
controls. Yeah.
experiment, and there are zero controls. That's the point, right? We live in a business world where you have to call out your controls. So where there was right, exactly. So it was uncontrolled social experiment.
Yeah.
But then the other one that came up was
which shows nothing.
Right, exactly. It's just like, okay, cool, you did that. Have fun.
Mhm.
But then the other one that showed up was a woman who was homeless living in her car, and she had been parked in the church parking lot. And I don't even know why she was inside the church filming. I don't know if they called her in to talk to her. I don't know what happened. But essentially, she was filming. So that's always a red flag for me because I feel like everybody wants to have a gotcha moment.
Right. They do. I mean,
But I also,
right.
some people feel the need to film to protect themselves when they feel like they're in a shitty situation, which this kind of felt like, right? So she was filming, and the pastor of the church, who was a woman, was telling her she can't park in the parking lot anymore. And
Fair enough.
there's a million reasons why that is fair, and essentially like insurance reasons alone.
Right.
Right. So, and if the word gets out, then all of a sudden the church parking lot is filled as in homeless.
Not every church is like a homeless shelter.
Right, exactly. It just pulled at my heartstrings a little bit more. And the woman who was supposed to be a pastor was so stern and cold and icy, which is why it caught fire on social media.
Right.
Was the
Right.
woman's response.
Right.
Because this lady was crying, and you know me, like that audible, it was real deal. Like I could
Right.
hear that she was like upset, scared,
Right.
right? And the people were like, we're going to call the police on you. And she's like, please, I just need help, right? So it was sad. But then the internet did the internet, and they went out and looked into this pastor. She married a pedophile. Like the pastor married somebody who was already charged with pedophilia, and she's the leader of a congregation, right? So then separate to that, they got video of her preaching the day before this video went viral. And in that sermon, she was talking about how we all need to be charitable in this time of distress in the country. And then she's filmed being cold hearted and icy the next day. So, I mean,
I think this just goes back to the classic argument is that most people's actions don't match their words.
words.
And the other side of that too is like sometimes good people do bad things. Sometimes what's this? Sometimes
Bad people don't always do bad things, and good people don't always do good.
well, that too. And like sometimes it's like people can people can be multiple things.
Right.
It's like people can be at different parts in their life.
That's why the yin and yang symbol exists.
Right.
Because
Right. I think
in every fully light person, there's a little bit of dark, and in every fully dark person, there's a little bit of light. It's situational.
absolutely. There's so many things. So many things.
But anyways, so it just makes me even more strongly want to, which is funny because on the last episode, we were talking about opening a boutique funeral parlor. One thing that's going to be banned from boutique is fucking call to worship. It's going to be banned.
Well, unless they want that.
unless the person wants that. But here's the thing is, I think that the person whose funeral we at would have wanted that, but not to the extent or degree which would it happen.
I don't have a problem with it. It's not that. It's just the way that it's always done. That part should not be longer. It should be the majority of what's going on.
Right.
It should
Right.
just be, if you want to take an example from this guy, this is what he thought, this is what he believed. You too can take part in heaven.
You just did Buddy cry.
But I mean, that's where we are. Dogma, the movie, great movie. And I got my I'm Telling Dan shirt. So, Dogma, great religious movie.
Sorry, Santa, I've been feral.
Yeah.
I am.
All right.
I'm feral. What else are we talking about this week? So,
Ooh, there was a Bigfoot spotting.
yeah.
Pennsylvania, right in up near State, right above Belfont,
Yes.
up by Bald Eagle State Park. They call the witness extremely credible.
Extremely credible. He's an Air Force veteran.
I didn't see what he was.
Yeah.
I didn't see more evidence for that, but I'm sold.
I'm going to tell you.
And he said he was a hunter, so he's familiar with
Yeah,
bears.
he's a lifelong.
They said he was driving along on Interstate 80, and this creature, two-legged creature, ran across the road and leaped over the guardrail. And he said that it was like, you can tell, like, it wasn't just a guy, like, in dark clothing.
Like, it then.
It was it happened in not too nimble of a movement.
Correct.
Like,
could be something like
to meet a human running across.
Or a bear.
Or a bear. Yeah. I mean, bear, that's what the guy said. He hunts bears. So he knows a bear.
He's a retired civil engineer, also an Air Force veteran, also a lifelong hunter.
Trained observer.
He's a trained observer.
Trained observer, we call him. Trained observer.
So
that's why he's very credible.
That is fairly close to us, but there was an incident in
Well, we go up there all the time. Though.
Yeah.
We're about to next Thursday before the Speakeasy open mic. Guess who's headed to Bald Eagle State Park to look for Bigfoot?
Yeah.
This guy.
And now he knows we're coming, so he's gonna hide. But in the 1980s, there was an incident closer to us in Claremont Township, which is like 2 miles out the road there. They have casts of that Bigfoot.
Big feet.
Big feet. What else is going on in the world? Oh, Y'all Street. I just wanted to say that out loud. I don't even care about Street. I don't care about finances.
Right.
That's why
Wall Street to Houston, y'all can do it. Y'all Street.
It's so simple. It's so simple.
I'm a Y'all Street executive. They're like, what?
I'm a Y'all Street headhunter.
I work on Y'all Street. You work on my street. I work on Y'all Street.
Oh, so here's a word that I learned today. So, or not today, this week. So I'm training on the latest and greatest. I'm training on Snowflake so that I can do some data shit. But I was in the tutorials and, I catch things when nerds drop like little, I want to figure out what he's talking about. So he was like talking about code, the guy who was training. It's a LinkedIn learning, and this guy's really fun. And he was talking about code, and he said something about accuracy. And he's like, don't get that confused with precision. Little inside nerd joke. Herp, herp. So I looked it up because I didn't know that precision and accuracy were two totally different things. Do you know what the difference is?
I mean, no. Go ahead and explain the difference. I mean, I think that I do, but like,
if you think about it, like
it's hard for me to put it into words.
Right. But like if one's a verb and so accuracy is how close something is to the truth.
Right.
So you can call something accurate, but it doesn't mean it's the truth. It just means that it's statistically close to the truth.
If you're talking about knowledge, yes.
Precision, even measurements.
Well, I mean, accuracy means how close you are to the target.
Correct.
Right.
Precision is how close you get to the target multiple times. Right. So if something is precise, it gets close to the target 3 or more times, then it's precise, but it doesn't have to be on the target or even there's a variance.
Well, I guess you have to but everything determines what the variance level that you're going to allow.
Right.
For what you're looking at to be.
Right. Measuring precision has other factors involved. Right.
And you have to and for each thing, you'll decide what that level needs to be.
Right. Well, as a data analyst, I need to know that I'm accurate and not precise. But in order to figure out I'm accurate, I have to run the data 3 times and get the same general outcome. And then it would be close to accurate enough for me to report on it. Anyways, a little nerd stuff. I love words, and I love when I learn that words are like they use.
Right. That it's not just.
I've never given either of those words of thought. I just use them interchangeably and
Right. Right. Right.
precisely.
Right. Precisely.
Um,
Very accurate.
so so we did have the open mic.
Ooh, Mephet's open mic.
That was fun.
Johnstown's first open mic. That was a lot of fun. Great turnout. Did a great job putting it together.
Yeah.
It's fun. We got a lot of stuff coming up. Thanksgiving weekend, got a show here in Johnstown, Masonic Temple, benefits Travis Neal, Suicide Awareness Foundation thing. I don't know the official name, something like that.
It's on the flyer.
Yeah, go check it out. Frank George, All Around New Productions. That's going to be a lot of fun. The lineup, done. Going to be hilarious. Great time. Make sure you come out for that. Then the next night, I'll be in State College.
Hold on. I have to get a shout out in because my girl, G Dubs, is headlining this time. She's the headliner. I don't think she was the last time. So I'm so excited for that. I love when G Dubs comes to Johnstown.
Yeah, she's great.
So, anyways.
The following night, then, State College, the Arena Bar and Grill, 3 Scotts and a knot. So it's going to be me, Scott Davidson, Scott Kelly. Maybe there might even be another Scott, but there's definitely going to be Brock. What's his name?
Brock Marucci. He is
Brock Marucci. Funny. He's a funny dude. He's one of my favorite
newer,
like favorite guys that I've discovered going out to State College, Bellefonte, those areas.
Yeah.
He's one of my favorites that I've seen out there.
Yeah.
He's so for all talent. And then Adam Holt.
Yeah.
There too. So that's going to be good stuff.
I love Adam. I will not throw anybody under the bus, but I will say that Adam brought everybody back around after one of the other shows. Remember?
Oh, yeah. He's great. He's fantastic. He's one of my favorites too.
There was a long lull in the middle of the show, and Adam came in.
He did a great job at a show we were at of like picking up where somebody totally dropped the ball.
Yeah.
He like scooped and shoveled and dug us out of the hole in the show.
It was amazing.
Well, yeah,
it was
great.
So great.
Yeah, he did a great job with that. It was a great rescue, to call it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we got tons of stuff. I mean, it's just going to be a lot of fun.
Well, and we're also doing Friendsgiving. So the Sunday after Thanksgiving, if you guys are
if you're a listener and you want to come,
yeah, just message us.
Message us. We'll be here.
If you want to know what to bring, we're doing all the main dishes. Just bring maybe a dessert or
whatever you want to drink.
Whatever you want to drink. Yeah, that's usually
our process.
Yeah.
That's I get the brow going. I thought I felt like it for a minute. No, I can't do it on command.
I can't do it on command at all.
It gets a mind of its own.
One of these days when I get Botox, it'll be permanently unbearable. So
I can't do it.
I'm gonna get a brow lift.
Brow's gone wild.
Brow's gone wild.
Hey.
All right, guys.
Anything else?
No. And he's told you this week. Stay trashy.
See ya.
Thanks.